was likely already inside, waiting for the 2:12 a.m. motion trigger. The 16-minute window between the final motion and the 2:28 a.m. pacemaker failure is the most violent silence in forensic history. Nancy Guthrie was removed with surgical precision. The digital inferno and institutional failure, the fallout was immediate. Pima County Sheriff Chris Nanos faced a nightmare, but Jennifer Coffindaffer identifies a darker pattern. Why was a media crew led by Brian Enton allowed to contaminate the scene? Why was the blood of Nancy Guthrie left on the doorstep, like a trophy for the cameras? This was psychological warfare. The ransom notes sent to TMZ were not about money. They were about the public execution of the Guthrie family's peace. The demand for $6 million in Bitcoin was a smokescreen. The God complex identified by Jennifer Coffindaffer reveals a suspect who believes they're smarter than the Quantico forensic team. They believe probabilistic genotyping can't find them. They are wrong. The forensic siege and the final reveal now. The FBI has moved from suspicion to a siege. Jennifer Coffindaffer reveals that the DNA found on a glove 2 miles away was sent to a private lab to stall for time. But Quantico has now reclaimed the evidence. The cell tower pings from the night Nancy Guthrie vanished have created a digital map of the monster's movement. The nuclear revelation returns. That IP address from March 2025. It leads directly to a device used by a member of the inner circle, a person who has now been caught searching for the home of another high-profile celebrity. Nancy Guthrie was the first, but the shadow architect was planning a series of inside deletions. We are at a crossroads in the Nancy Guthrie investigation, and the silence from the official channels is deafening. They want you to believe that the trail has gone cold. They want you to look away from the 16-minute window and forget the name Nancy Guthrie. But as long as Jennifer Coffindaffer is speaking, and as long as we are analyzing the facts, the truth cannot stay buried. The system is designed to protect the monster when the monster is one of their own. They use gag orders. They contaminate crime scenes, and they let evidence sit in private labs for months while a family suffers. By subscribing to this channel, you aren't just getting updates. You are joining a tribal resistance against the cover-up. You are ensuring that the digital trail left in the wake of Nancy Guthrie's abduction is never erased. We are tracking the Quantico DNA results and the Bitcoin wallet movements in real time. We are looking for the shadow architect who thought they were clever enough to outsmart 28 years of FBI experience. This is a war for the truth, and every single one of you is a soldier in this investigation. Now, I need you to do something critical. Look at the evidence. Look at the God complex in those ransom notes. Look at the precision of the 16-minute window. I am asking you the most polarizing question of this entire case. Is the person at the center of this circle a victim of a massive, high-level frame-up? Or are they the monster who orchestrated the inside deletion of Nancy Guthrie? There's no middle ground. Type victim or monster in the comments below right now. I am going through every single comment to find the most logical, evidence-based theories to feature in part 2 of this documentary. Your theory could be the one that pulls the final thread. Subscribe to stay protected, stay informed, and stay ready. The war for Nancy Guthrie has just begun, and we will not stop until the monster is unmasked. Was Nancy Guthrie's time of death recorded not by her killer, but by her own heart? The FBI agent's new discovery is here, and the Nancy Guthrie case has reached a point of no return. We've all seen the headlines. An 84-year-old woman, dependent on a walker, vanishing from her secured home in the Catalina foothills. But the truth is far more sinister than a simple kidnapping. The real story begins in the 16-minute slaughter window that the local authorities desperately want you to ignore. Imagine Nancy Guthrie lying in her bed, her digital pacemaker monitor silently transmitting vitals to the hospital every night. On February 1st, 2026, at 2:27 a.m., she was breathing. The signal was steady. But at exactly 2:28 a.m., the digital heartbeat went silent. In just 60 seconds, Nancy Guthrie was erased. Jennifer Coffindaffer, a legendary FBI veteran with 28 years of experience dismantling the world's most dangerous minds, noticed a detail that changes everything. Jennifer Coffindaffer didn't see a forced entry. She found a prepared exit. This means the perpetrator didn't just break in. They were already there, or they had been given the keys to Nancy Guthrie's life. Someone knew exactly when the cameras would be disabled and exactly when that pacemaker would transmit its final signal. At the end of this investigation, I will reveal the nuclear evidence, a digital search log from March 2025. It contains the IP address of someone who spent 48 hours studying Nancy Guthrie's floor plan 10 months before she disappeared. When you hear who circled that IP address traces back to, you will realize that Nancy Guthrie wasn't a victim of a stranger. She was the target of a monster hiding in plain sight. The deceptive calm and the pre-war history, while the public focused on the grainy doorbell footage of Nancy Guthrie's front porch. A silent war was being waged in the shadows. Jennifer Coffindaffer argues that the crime didn't start on February 1st. It started in late 2025. Through a liar's lens, we look at the family circle. Why was Nancy Guthrie dropped off at 9:50 p.m. after a peaceful dinner, only for the rear doors of her home to be found propped open hours later? Jennifer Coffindaffer points out that an intruder doesn't prop a door, they kick it. Propping a door requires time, familiarity, and a lack of fear. Nancy Guthrie was walking into a trap set by someone who knew her walker's path, her medication schedule, and her deepest vulnerabilities. The ground zero explosion and the first breach at 1:47 a.m. The first breach occurred. A masked figure appeared on the Google Nest camera. Jennifer Coffindaffer analyzes this movement not as a criminal act, but as a distraction. The figure walks directly to the camera. No hesitation, no searching. They knew the mounting height. They knew the blind spots. Jennifer Coffindaffer suggests this was an instrument sent by a shadow architect. While the world stares at the mask, they miss the fact that the shadow architect, while the world stares